In today's video, we're gonna talk about the top 10 best rare champions in Dragonheir Silent Gods. Now, we all know we have a lot of awesome legendaries, a lot of awesome epics, and Dragonheir, unlike other gacha games out there, they are actually really giving some values to rare champions and epic champions. You're gonna end up playing the game and you're gonna see the more you advance in the game that a lot of these champions, they're actually endgame viable, and you're gonna end up in using them because the summoning in Dragonheir is a bit more steep than in other games. It's harder for you to get a legendary champion, and the reason for it is that they want us to play rares and epic champions as well. They actually said this in a meeting that we had in the beta when we said, like, look guys, we need more summons, we need to get more legendary champions because we want to see more shiny things, you know? And they were like, we understand that, but at the same time we want to be a bit different than other games and actually give value to rare and epic champions. Now, a lot of you guys probably reach level 10 on the battle pass, and if you haven't noticed, you're gonna get a chest right here, and this will allow you to select a rare champion, and the chest is right here in the bag if you go to inventory, and it should be here, sorry. This chest will allow you to pick a rare champion, and you can pick pretty much all of them. I don't think any of them are missing from the list. You gotta check what you have available, so go to the gallery and check there if you have them also. I'm gonna give you my top 10. These will be champions that will help you a lot with progression now, and they will be viable for mid game and end game as well. That's why I might be skipping some other champions that, even though they are pretty good as rare champions, I think they don't give so much value like the other ones. So let me start directly with the very first champion, and I'm gonna go directly to the gallery as well because it's easier to pick the champions from there. We can see all the rares. Plus, I'm missing a couple of them actually, so I'm still deciding which one should I actually pick. So, in my opinion, the top rare champion, the number one rare champion, it must be Hexandra. You are getting this one for free, so you don't need to worry about her. But she just brings so much utility. She does look pretty cute as well. She's a very, very good healer. Poison element. When healing allies with HP below 40%, the amount of healing is increased by 30%, which is definitely pretty good. And one thing to keep in mind, guys, some of you might not know, if you click on details, you're gonna get to basically see a bit the multipliers. And like this, you're gonna understand how to build the champions better. Most of the champions, they deal damage, but they are not specifying if they're dealing damage based on attack, defense, or what sort of damage they're doing. So if you click on details, you're gonna be able to see all that. So this is one of the tips to keep in mind. So she's healing with the battle skill 150% attack plus 1500% enlightenment. Now, a lot of people are curious, what is enlightenment? If you click right here on the stats, basically you're gonna be able to read. And this is kind of like affecting either the damage, either the healing, and it's not allowing you to have a crit hit with this extra damage. If you're playing Raid, for example, or if you're playing something that has similar masteries with Raid and you have War Master, think about it like it. You know, it's not exactly the same thing, but it's very similar in a way. That cannot be crit, it cannot count as extra hit, etc., you know? So she needs to have enlightenment as well to give a bigger heal. With this skill right here, heals all allies within range by 20% of the target's max HP. So this is actually a very good heal. That's why she's one of the best rare champions, because she's gonna be viable in every team in any sort of content. You know, of course, she's not great for the goblin or for the tower defense where you just need to drop damage, but for the rest of the content, she's actually very solid. That's why personally, I think she is definitely number one. And moving over to the next champion, I don't have her just yet, so I think she's the one that I'm gonna pick from the chest because I don't have her, and that is Sigrid. This is a new rare hero, and she is a poison element hero too. She has a lead, increases ally accuracy by 30 in all battles. That can be helpful. The passive skill, when an enemy inflicted with debuffs dies, the hero gains 25% ultimate energy. That can be nice actually on waves and things like that, you know, getting ultimate energy is pretty good. Then, right here, the battle skill shoots 2 toxic arrows to the enemy, each dealing 210% attack damage with a 75% chance to put healing prohibition. The healing is reduced by 100%. If you fully book this hero, it's gonna be a 100% chance to land this, and this is gonna be very important in completing content, guys. Healing prohibition is gonna be a necessity, and She's actually pretty solid. Then we have this skill right here, which gets even better. Deals 820 attack, poison to an enemy and all enemies inflicted with debuffs. With fully booked, 100% chance of inflicting healing prohibition and attack penalty for 10 seconds. So as a hero that drops healing prohibition with both of the skills, this is actually massive because you're not gonna need a second one in the team when you're trying to put this debuff on a specific target. So this is actually very, very nice. And the attack penalty, again, ticks another box. That's why she's actually a very, very solid rare champion. And I do think she provides value in a lot of content, you know. Moving over to the next champion that we have on the list, guys. And they're not in a specific order. Let me just mention that as well. I'm not necessarily saying that this is the third best rare champion in the game or anything like that, you know. Raphis. When the hero is dealing damage to enemies inflicted with Frozen, there is a 50% chance of reducing their ultimate energy by 10%. Being able to manipulate that is awesome because they're not gonna use the ultimate skill as often, you know. Then we have the battle skill. Deals 380 attack to the enemy with 100% chance to put attack penalty for 2 turns if you fully book her, okay? 100% if you fully book her. Attack penalty or decrease attack is super important in pretty much every single dungeon, on every single boss, more or less, because it will help you to keep your team alive, especially early on before you stack on crazy legendary gear and you max your heroes and stuff. Is very, very important. So this is actually pretty awesome. The ultimate skill deals 700 attack cold damage to enemies within range with a chance to inflict Frozen for 5 seconds. And that is on everybody. Fully booked will be a 75% chance, and that actually goes very good with the passive, right? Because inflicting damage to enemies under Frozen has a chance to reduce their ultimate energy. The next champion that we have on the list, guys, and again, is gonna be a rare, is no one else but Irina. Let me just quickly find her. She is an OG, a vanilla champion. She looks pretty awesome, and man, she smacks, okay? She literally smacks. So she's from the lightning element, and with a passive, when the hero deals damage to enemies by skill, grants a 10% target's max HP shield to the nearest ally for 10 seconds. This effect can only be triggered once every 1 second, so you can't stack it on all your team instantly with an AoE hit, for example, you know. Then, the battle skill unleashes Chain Lightning, dealing 360% attack lightning damage to enemies that are hit. Chain Lightning can bounce among enemies up to 3 times. So this is not a full AoE attack, but almost like an AoE attack. So this will really bring you pretty good damage from the champion. Great for the goblin guys. Great for the tower defense game mode whenever you're encountering that. Great to help you on waves. And then we have the ultimate skill. Deals 710% attack lightning damage to enemies within range and has fully booked 100% chance to put attack down on all of them and a chance to dispel 1 buff from them. You're gonna find out that this removing buffs from the enemies will be very, very important. So again, super awesome rare champion, and I cannot recommend her enough. And honestly, think about what teams you are already preparing, right? And pick one of the rare champions that you don't have and it will fit with your team, you know? Or something that you might be lacking. You might be lacking support, you might be lacking some damage, and you want to get something like Irina because she's such an awesome rare champion, you know? Moving over to the next one is Eli, and he is a poisoner. He's pretty good, but he needs to be comboed with other poisoners if you really want to give him the best value. And he's a vanilla champion too. He does have a Captain Aura, increases ally attacks in all battles by 18%. Then we have the passive, when dealing damage to enemies under poison, additionally deals 40% attack derivate poison damage. So how you can see, derivate damage generated by a specific skill gains an enlightenment bonus but cannot trigger critical hit. So you want to have enlightenment on this hero as well to gain a bigger bonus here and deal more damage on the target. Now, you do need to bring other poisoners, in my opinion, to ensure that you always have poisons on the target. With the battle skill, gains 15% attack up for 5 seconds, and then shoots a crossbow bolt at the enemy, dealing 280% attack with a 100% chance of inflicting 1 stack of poison for 15 seconds. Now, poisons work very similar with how they work in most of the games, where you're dealing a specific amount of damage based on the target's max HP, basically, you know. So this is actually pretty nice. And then we have this one, which is a pretty good skill, deals pretty good damage. Shoots 3 arrows in the designated direction, each dealing 235% attack damage. So you can see the range right here on how he's attacking, and this is actually pretty good damage, just to keep in mind. He's a good champion. I use him in my Vortex team, and I'm gonna do a Vortex team, guys. I'm gonna do a guide just to show you a team that's more accessible in terms of using rares, maybe 1 or 2 epics, and just to get an idea of what you could achieve with a team like that. I'm not a whale, so I'm not just bursting money. I bought the battle pass, I bought the monthly packs, the 2 of them, you know, and that's about it. I'm not planning to go Kraken mode on the game. One of the new rare champions that they've been added to the game, I haven't tested him yet, but I'm planning to pair them together for the Vortex team. Laurary. Man, this guy seems like a beast, okay? So he is, again, from the poison element. Check this out. When dealing damage to an enemy, each stack of poisons on them allows the damage to ignore 2.5 of the target's defense. Then this one right here deals 350% attack damage to the enemy with a 100% chance of inflicting 2 stacks of poisons for 15 seconds. So 2 stacks. And this is on a single target, of course. Not great for the goblin, not great for tower defense because you want to have more AoEs in there and stuff. But then this ultimate skill sounds pretty interesting. Check this out. Wields the pike to deal 600% attack to enemies within range, with a 100% chance fully booked of inflicting 3 stacks of poison for 15 seconds. And this is nasty, man. Like, a lot of poisons from this guy. He's like just throwing poisons left and right. I feel like I haven't seen a rare on an epic to put so many poisons like this guy, honestly. That's why I think he's such a solid rare champion, and I cannot wait to play him today later on when I'm gonna get a bit of time to rebuild the team, you know? But definitely a very solid rare champion. Then we do have a different one, and that is Usha. Let me just quickly find her. I think she was from the Frost as well, and she is fairly good as well. Captain lead for dungeons, 24% HP. The passive, the second basic attack at an enemy under Frost deals double damage. She bursts a lot of damage, and with this one right here, gains 300% attack shield and attack speed up for 10 seconds. Increases the attack speed by 50, so the attack speed will allow her to use the basic skill more often, and it's gonna go very good with the passive because it's gonna get to use this basic attack very often. And the ultimate skill slashes forcefully twice, each dealing 400% attack to enemies within range with a 100% chance to inflict frost. The skill deals double damage to enemies inflicted with frost. So if you pair her with a different frost hero, already you're gonna get so much damage. Like, this one has very crazy multipliers. Imagine attacking this twice, 800 attack, and getting double the damage, right? It's gonna be very nasty. And on top of it, the rest of the kit just goes so well with the champion, and just pairing her with others, you know? So if you're making a Frost team, keep her in mind as well, you know? I would still prioritize the previous champions that I mentioned till now because they will bring more utility. I feel like the damage dealers, they can be easily replaced in mid-game and game, you know? So that's why I wouldn't necessarily jump to pick this champion just because she can deal damage. I would rather have some sort of utility, support for my team, you know? I feel like overall it will bring me more value, you know? Then moving over to the next champion that we have on the list, guys, is gonna be Megan. She's from the Necrosis element, a pretty good healer as well. I use her quite a bit in the beta, actually. And with a passive, when casting skills on an ally, dispels 1 defense penalty from the ally. Then, with a battle skill, heals an ally by 10% of the target's max HP and recharges their ultimate energy by 25%. And this has a 10 seconds recharge time. With the right artifact, you can decrease this cooldown even more and constantly boost the ultimate energy on one of your champions. The ultimate skill grants defense up and recovery over time to allies within range for 10 seconds. So you're getting the smaller version of increased defense, which is still good, and you're getting basically continuous heal on the hero. Pretty nice. The next champion that I have on the list is gonna be another healer, and it's gonna be Quarian. Is from the Radiance element. How I mentioned, guys, damage dealers are awesome, but it's much easier for you to replace the damage dealers, and it's much harder to replace the support. So Quarian is definitely gonna make it on my list, and I use him in the beta quite a bit too. when I was building my Radiance team. I haven't built a Radiance team just yet, but I'm planning to build one actually later on. And right here, with the passive, when healing allies, it gains 20% chance of increasing the healing amount by 50%. The battle skill grants a shield to the ally for 10 seconds and grants recovery over time for 10 seconds. The ultimate skill heals allies within range by 15% and grants them defense up. So again, you're getting the smaller version of defense up and you're getting a healing. Plus the passive can increase the healing by 50%. So that can be pretty nice actually. It will make it better than Hexandra's, for example, you know. Moving over to the next champion that we have on the list. And this one is not necessarily the best healer or anything like that, but you're gonna end up in using her. I'm using her currently in the fire domain, and you're gonna need her to dispel debuffs. So she's a cleanser. Anna, she's from the lightning element with a passive, restores 15% of the max HP when taking damage that exceeds 25% of her own max HP. This effect can only be triggered once every 10 seconds. The battle skill grants hit recovery to an ally for 10 seconds. Not the most insane thing, but you're gonna wanna use her for the ultimate skill. Grants recovery over time to all allies for 10 seconds and dispels one debuff from them. And it covers the entire area. Very, very good cleanser, man. Like, you're gonna need her. I'm using 2 cleansers in the fire domain, and it's very nasty. You need them cleansers to put in some serious work. That will make our top 10 best rare champions in Dragonheir Silent Gods. I'm very curious if any of you guys have different opinions. Let me know in the comments down below. And how I mentioned, damage dealers are much easier to be replaced, so pick one that will have a better longevity, a champion that you're gonna end up in using for more, not just a damage dealer, you know. So keep that in mind as well. Even though I showed you a couple of damage dealers, poisoners, they do seem pretty interesting, you know. Just to end the video on a note here, guys, I want to show you a decent common champion too. Meredith, a pretty good healer, and she's from the Radiance element with a passive. Healing from the hero increases by 10%. The battle skill heals an ally, very simple, right? And the ultimate skill heals allies within range by 25% of the target's max HP. This is a very good healing, right? With the 10%, it's gonna go up to 27.5%. The area is not the best though, so you're gonna have to position your heroes on point if you want to get the most out of the hero. And the main issue is the cooldowns are pretty long on the commons, but you can use her if you need a hero for the Radiance element, if you need a support hero in there, just as an idea. That will be all for this video. If you want to find out more tips and tricks about Dragonheir Silent Gods, check out these 2 videos here at the top. Appreciate all of you guys watching. Make sure you smash a like, subscribe to the channel for more content, and I'll catch you all soon in the next video. Peace.